Right, hi guys, thanks for joining us again on the Unplugged Health Series. Joined with, as usual, with Ollie, and welcome to our podcast.
Hey guys, hope you're doing good and loving it. We're pre-recording this, but hopefully the weather's really good outside. And let's just look outside at the sun that's coming through the windows.
We're preempting the future and saying when you're watching this in the UK, it's summer has broken and we're enjoying being outdoors more and topping up on that sun and the vitamin C. Vitamin D.
Yeah. Hopefully getting vitamin C in as well, because we need the vitamin C and everything.
So this week's topic or ideas is kind of a little bit off track from directly health, but as you're aware, health is for us is physical, emotional and chemical, and it's also about principles, the go-tos of the absolutes of how we structure our lives. And if you haven't thought about it, you will actually already have key principles, key things that you put in place without really knowing of them. So these are absolutes. So in our office, from a business perspective, some of the key principles which we hold ourselves to is that we're a pro chiropractic, we're pro health, we're pro service, and we're there to go the extra mile and do the extra things for our clients, which sounds all very well and wishy-washy in general, everyone does it, but these are principles that we hold to ourselves. So we're here to serve, and we're here to do that extra thing and go the extra mile and show that we care. So I'm interested this week of what are some people's principles or either in their personal lives or business lives that they hold true to. So for me, in our office, the number one thing for us is service. So we have to serve, and that's an absolute. So if we have a client, if we can see them after hours, they're in a crisis, they're under our care, we will go that extra mile.
Like someone that's hurt their shoulder.
Yeah, like someone who we tied in to get the podcast and check out shoulder and necks and stuff. But we do that because we have to serve, because I'm a firm believer that if I was under regular hour care and something is going on and it's troubling me, I want to know that my chiropractor, my health practitioner is there for me. So it goes beyond just that we have the skills, but we are there to serve in that. So what about you? What
I think, like with me, it's making sure we're in the right energy. Like I'm a big believer in energy and like the positive energy we bring and everything. Like when I work with clients, like, I'm in a position that, like, previously I would work with anyone, and now it's like, why do you want these goals? And it has to align with me. Like I've worked with people before. It's a physique goal. Why do you want to? Oh, I just want to look good in the mirror. Like that's fair enough, but why? They're like, oh, like I had clients in the past. I want to get with more women and stuff. Like that doesn't sit well with me.
No.
Like, oh, I just want abs to get this, and I'm like, oh, well, why? And then it's your family. If it's for confidence, whatever it is, like it sits better with me. But like knowing that, like one of the principles I have with my clients is that we usually develop a friendship as well, so they can just 100% trust me. And I've had like experiences with clients that's gone into kind of life coaching as such. I'm not a life coach, but it's gone into life coaching aspects about what I've picked up.
Yeah, because it's like relationships, aren't you? Yeah. Building a relationship. It's I think that's what's like coming out of COVID. What's frustrated a lot of people within accessing services, particularly within healthcare, is that there's inconsistency. Who am I going to see? And there's this perception that if you see one practitioner, it'll be the same if you see someone else, and that takes away the human element of it.
Yeah, like, I know that you've had people like where it's kind of like, oh, chiropractors don't do this. Like every chiropractor is going to be different. Every personal trainer is going to be different. Like every nutritionist is going to be different, and everyone's going to have slightly different techniques, even if they've been through the same courses.
And
like
the
perception of that is different.
So it is significant for us. One of the principles of this is who we are, but therefore also comes with clarity of who you're attracting and who you want to work with, and build relationships. So I had a patient the other day who's been to another chiropractor within the UK, not locally, but their experience was that they wear a collar and tie. So their impression was that's what a chiropractor is. You go into the office, they've got a collar and tie, and there was they commented on it going, oh, straight away this is a different experience because you don't wear a collar and tie. And I said, well, I wore a collar and tie through all school, and I saw that as soon as I got a chance to work for myself, if I could never wear a collar and tie, I wouldn't. So it's interesting what people's perception is, or what you should be versus what you want to do. And I think through experience, if you've got principles saying this is how I work, and this is what makes me and work at my best.
Yeah.
So one of our things is our principles that we are warm, inviting, we are professional, but we're not stuffy with it. We're not trying to portray a certain image. It's more like come and hang out and visit.
It's more welcoming.
But we're going to be professional as well. And I think you can be professional with still being yourself.
Yeah. So I think with those principles, we'll all have these principles, and I think it's important to me to work with those clients that have similar principles. And one of my clients, when we're saying his name is Stephen Kuhn, he's got his HIT principles, which is honesty, integrity, transparency. And some of the conversations I have with clients, they'll know what's going on in my life as well. It's not like I'm going to hide anything, because I've got things that I'm going through, problems which I'm dealing with, that then they realise I'm a human being as well. And sometimes we haven't got our stuff together, and we need to chat about it.
Yeah, and
develop more trust. And
exactly. If you're looking to develop a relationship, there's a certain element of humanity in that someone realizes that I can work with this person because they're also not perfect.
Yeah.
They get it, rather than thinking you put the practitioner or the PT or someone on a pedestal and thinking, oh, they've got it perfect. I'm subservient to them. Rather than meeting and saying, listen, I've got interest in skills, but actually you've got interest in skills, bring to. But you're right, if you've got to have a connection with similar principles. If they don't match, you don't gel with someone, they don't. But I wonder how many people actually, do you have experience with clients or so who, I agree with you, everyone's got principles and stuff and go-tos. But how many people actually know them or either write them down or is that something that you work with clients and
I've worked with clients on
go down to principles or values and that things, or do you just pick that up as you go and it comes out in conversation?
I think we can tell from the initial conversation, why do you want to do this? And then usually the people I work with are over 30, they've got a family, they're 35 upwards, got a family. And busy business owners as such, and you can tell from the circles that I've run in with the entrepreneurial world, I usually know a little bit about them anyway, or their referrals. So I'm well, if you're friends with Roger and I like Roger's principles, then you must be pretty in line with mine. And I think that's where I love having referrals from people. Yeah, because that work's already done.
I mean, our business is primarily on in-house referrals. We don't rely on outside advertising really much at all. And also like refers like. So as you establish and you build in that and you have that baseline, you start attracting the same kind of clients because they like you and they refer you.
And I've had
and that's the beauty of when you know that your principles are quite in sync, because you start, energy and vibration, you vibrate off other people.
I had a client start 3-4 weeks ago, and he was a referral from that Stephen, and I could tell that he's previous military. He's got business in Orlando and a business in Vegas, and I'm well, you're previous military, you're friends with Stephen, you've got these successful businesses, you chat with him, and he's getting some amazing results because there's that alignment there. That referral is he wants to have this sort of program, which is a bit more militant than someone I would follow or you would follow, just because of their background. But you can just tell from that referral how much aligned they're going to be with that person. Yeah. And if someone comes to me and is for starters, I've had a couple of people, I just want an exercise plan. I don't call myself a personal trainer now. As we know, going down the functional medicine side of things and the nutritional therapy. Yeah, exercise plans is one of the things I can add, but it's like 10% of what I do. Like there's this whole other 90%. So if someone comes to me and is like, just want to lose 20 pounds and get ready for summer, like it's what I appreciate that people do. But once we find that underlying reason, confidence, is it better with your relationships? Are you going to be with your kids longer? Like what it is, like we have a better connection.
Yeah.
But until someone can see that, it's hard to see what their values are until we have more of a conversation, because like no one wants to lose weight.
No,
there's an underlying reason for it, and that's where.
And also, the most powerful thing is finding what I refer to as more the anchor.
Yeah.
Because if you want someone to move someone into a better level of function and operating at a higher level, as you say, everyone wants to lose weight, everyone wants more energy, everyone wants this, but you can go online now and find a 10-step this and that, but without any guidance or knowledge or support, they're just words. Yeah. But if there's an anchor that's saying that this is why I want to do this, this I want to see my kids grow up, I want to perform this, I want to win this match, or if there's not an anchor, and that's based on people's principles, because for some person they want to prove themselves, and that's always quite interesting. Well, why do you want to prove themselves, and where does that come from?
Is that
so you actually end up,
Why, isn't it? Have you heard of the book Start With Why?
Yeah.
Like I've forgotten the author's name, but Start With Why is such an awesome thing to just go on, because if we know our why, like you'll have a why for getting into chiropractic, I've got a why for getting into nutrition.
But it's also one of the main fundamentals of functional medicine is why versus what. We used to going in and saying, what's going on? What can I do for you? What's your symptoms? So the symptom for a client perhaps would be, I want to lose weight. And it's like, well, why?
We treat the why, not the symptom.
Yeah, the symptom's important. It's a very motivating factor, but it's not really the crux.
I done a live on that yesterday, and maybe this is a topic we should delve into. I think it's very good for the next time we record. Is about skin conditions and why putting creams on them is not usually the answer.
Yeah.
Because we stop the cream and it comes back. Because it's just like taking a paracetamol for a headache when we're dehydrated. When we take that paracetamol, 4 or 5 hours, it may wear off. If we haven't drunk water, we're going to get that headache come back. And this is where if we go for the why, not the what, then we're going to get much longer lasting results. We see a lot of cases of people going to clubs for losing weight and stuff like that. They drop weight and then it comes back on again. They drop because they never dive into the why they want to lose that weight.
Yeah, that's what I mean by the underlying principle, the underlying core value. What are the go-tos that you wouldn't sacrifice? You're not that is your driving thing. And although there are common things, there are significant drivers for each individual's, either within a business entity, a corporation, or a small business, or individuals, or what that principle is.
So usually mine is like someone I would be friends with as well. And you may not know that straight away, but like we have a 3-month commitment straight away, and then we just start like going afterwards. And I've had times like, so one of the things I offer clients is I will go and stay with them for a week. They pay the expenses and everything like that, and then they pay a cost for it. That my main one-to-one client.
It's just not whilst you're having renovations done at home and you haven't got any place.
No, when me and the wife have had an argument. He's got
intensive. Look at our schedule. We're having our kitchen done that week, so I'm going to come stay.
Yeah, usually it's when they live in somewhere I want to visit as well. I'm like, well, I've got this service.
I can't come that time of year. Locally, your weather is rubbish.
Yeah, the basketball season isn't on. But like, I've been lucky enough to travel to these places. But if I didn't have a good relationship with these clients, staying with them for a week would have been hell.
And also they've got to feel comfortable to have you there for a week.
And that's when I've developed really good relationships, and like you've had referrals and like you're there with their family. Like when was it? I think I played some like Forza Motorsport or something like on the Xbox with one of their kids, and I'm like, I got absolutely trashed, but like it's sharing moments with their family.
That's very powerful, because you can get them and they
can see why they want it. And then you know it afterwards. Like I've had some, during lockdown, one of my clients sent me custom trainers, and God knows how much they cost, but it was because of that relationship I built with him. And
that's very
like
cool.
custom trainers with my logo, with OJ written on it, and music and stuff, and like, but that came from building that relationship, knowing that as someone that I was socialising.
And that comes from one of your key principles or cores, is that generally that relationship is one of the most important fundamentals of your, not only probably your business, but you personally.
Yeah, and like when we haven't had that, and I've had clients, don't get me wrong, that I've kind of got the wrong impression of, and they've just ended up where after a couple of months it fizzles out, and you're like, yeah, it's fine, we don't want to read it.
I mean, I've had that, one of my earliest memories of going into practice and setting up and doing my stuff was an older patient who sat down, and she sat down with her arms across, and she said, "You're Dr. Wood, I'm Mr. So-and-so, you know," literally her words were, "You know everything, I know nothing, just tell me what to do." And I said, "I'm sorry, but I can't take on that responsibility. You know yourself better than I know you, but I'm here to work with you, and so that we can move together. Does that sound?" And she was like, "Oh, well, that's totally different." And she was very old school. And that element then melted and we're fine. But we had to establish where we were comfortable to be, because I wasn't comfortable to take on that sole responsibility of that I'm now responsible for her total success or failure of this, this journey. And so it's very important to know your basic principles, and it does come with, I suppose, with experience. I didn't know that when I first started practice, but I've suddenly fast forward many years and I've learned that, and the books I've read and podcasts I've listened to and things, it's quite an interesting trend through a lot of high business and high sportsmen and success that they have underlying core values, underlying key principles that drive them. Some of them are counterproductive, some of them are quite negative and quite selfish, I think, but it is principles that they've put in place to get to that win. It's a bit like when we spoke about previous podcasts of routine. For them, some of them is like, this is the routine, I do not miss it. Like if you're running a marathon and you've got to train tomorrow, we're not going out, this is what I must eat.
It can get
very, very
selfish,
selfish. But it's their principle, because that's what they need to achieve a certain goal. So do you do principles? Do you have core values that are etched in stone, or is it something that is new to you? Would you like us to support you or engage with you to expand that element? I think it's where you start to learn about yourself more, what's important and where you want to go and what you want to attract, as we were talking about. I think knowing your principles and your core values is important and hugely empowering. So let us know, and as always, Ollie and I are here to support and engage. So drop any comments, get us at our practice, and Ollie's available, I know, through his numerous online avenues and that.
Well, the health one, there's OJAY Health. But if you want to talk music, then yeah, I'll be there as well.
Until next time, keep well, and we'll speak to you soon.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.